Rick Chancey. I'm the District Attorney of Russell County, Alabama, where this case was prosecuted. We prosecuted this case from the beginning of the investigation all the way to the end. Me, along with the young lady to my right, prosecuted. I'll go ahead and let her introduce herself.
Good evening. My name is Mallory Hatfield.
And then y'all may know Sheriff.
Good afternoon. My name is Heath Taylor. I'm the Sheriff of Russell County, Alabama, and we were the investigating agents.
So we were, as y'all know, some of y'all I think witnessed this, we were not, by statute, we're not allowed into the Holman Prison through the process, so we really weren't witnesses to anything that happened this evening. But we were here, down here, for some of the victims who we were here to support, for the victims who are still with us, and then those who are not. So we'll be happy to answer any questions you have about anything that's happened throughout the process, but as far as what happened and anything that happened over the last hour or so, we were not privy to that.
I'd like to get a reaction from the three of y'all. His final words were, "I want to thank God for forgiving me for my sins so I can meet him in peace. Good night." And I'll start with you, Mallory, just move down the line.
I was raised in a God-fearing household and was taught to believe that the blood of Christ covers all things. I don't know how that works in this case, but I'll leave judgment up to God.
You know, I would probably echo Mallory's words on that. I don't know. I hope he is able to have peace and have forgiveness. But it'll take me dying to get over what I've seen. So maybe one day I can have peace after what I've seen. Maybe he does now.
I agree with both of them. I think that God is the only one that can forgive something like this. I'm glad he can. We've all made mistakes. It's not, if he had peace when he left this world, then, okay. But for us and for the victim, that's not my job. My job was already done.
What was your reaction to knowing this death sentence was carried out, and how does this crime compare to the others you've seen throughout your career?
Well, for me, I'm in my 39th year in law enforcement, and I've got 6 other cases on death row. This was the worst of the ones that I've investigated in my 39 years. So from our perspective, my office's perspective, I have a lot of investigators that are facing, trauma mentally for the things they had to go through and see during this case. Law enforcement historically has to see the results of crime, and in this case, we watched it because he videoed the whole thing, and we found that totally different dynamic than what we're typically accustomed to. So that's kind of my take on it.
Is there anything anybody would like to say about little Kamari?
So, yeah, we probably all would. I'll let you go first.
Well, during this whole investigation, everybody we talked to, this little girl lived for 5 years. In that 5 years, it wasn't great. She had a tough time her whole life with her parents being divorced and the circumstances she lived in, but not one single person ever said she never didn't have a smile on her face. She was always happy. She always brought joy in every single room that she was in, no matter what she was dealing with personally. And that in and of itself the whole time we were investigating this case was a forethought for my investigators. They knew what they were doing, what their mission was for her.
You're up with that one.
So
You step a little closer to the mic.
I'm sorry, I've known Kamari's mother, Christy Sipple, since her younger brother was born, because I was prosecuting her when this case came out that Kamari was missing. And I knew Christy was involved because I was in charge of that chemical endangerment. I've got a daughter the exact same age as Kamari. So this one hit really close to home. The day she went missing, I called Rick and I told Rick, Mom has something to do with this. These child crimes, they are the worst of the worst. And it is hard to see our children suffer the way that we do. I hate to see that one of the things I do every day is watch our children suffer in these types of situations. And we do not have video evidence like this most often. Too many of our children victims go without justice because adults aren't willing to listen to what children have to say. They don't think they're telling the truth. This one we just happened to get on video. And I'm just grateful we're able to get some justice for her and for her family.
What were his last words?
I want to thank God for forgiving me for my sins so I can meet him in peace. Good night.
Kamari didn't have a chance for that statement. Kamari's last seconds were horrific. That baby didn't die in peace. She didn't close her eyes and say, I can meet my maker in peace tonight. That baby was brutally killed. And I'm glad Jeremy died in peace because that baby didn't. And that's what I'll remember. And this is for you, Kamari. Whether he gets peace or not, that's up to God. But that little girl, I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
One more question, Rick. Keith, y'all were both in Mallory as well. Y'all are all involved in the investigation prosecution. From day one, he told Chuck Ford he wanted to die. Are you surprised over 4.5 years he never once wavered from that position?
Am I surprised?
What's your reaction to it? That's a better question.
You know, I wish all these guys who go out and commit crimes would own up to their sentence and say, you know what, I did it. I'll take my medicine. So give it to Jeremy. He said I'll do it. Now, why he did it, I'll disagree with you all day long on why he did this. Was it because it was remorseful? He couldn't live with himself? I don't believe that. But it doesn't matter what I believe. We're here. Am I surprised? Probably, because this doesn't happen. Am I glad? Yeah. Give it to Jeremy. He stood up from the day one and said he would take this, and he did. Nobody else does. We got 6 others on death row just hanging on by their fingernails for something horrible they did. So give it to him. He stuck by it, and here we are. I'm glad it's done.
I had a coworker describing the reason, what she thought was the reason. She said he had all of it that he confessed to, and stuff he probably didn't confess to, that he had too much to think about. Does that make sense? As he was sitting there, everything he had done, he had too much to think about.
Not to me. I mean, Jeremy, you know, Mr. Williams was, he had left a trail of victims everywhere he went and lived for a long time. I don't believe for 5 seconds that he was concerned about what he did. He was concerned about what was going to happen to him in prison. And he didn't want to look over his shoulder for 30 years, in my opinion. And so he just wanted to end it. But I think it's because he didn't want to happen to him what he did to that little girl in prison and look over his shoulder for 30 years. That's what I believe he did it.
And just remember, Kamari is why we're here. He killed that baby, and that's why we're here. But the trail of destruction that this man left will live on. There's other things he did that people will suffer for the rest of their life. They don't get to go to sleep at night and say, I can close my eyes in peace. They'll live with that the rest of their life. So why he did it, what he did it for, I don't think he did it for anything other than he was scared for himself.
Have any of you been able to speak with Kamari's, surviving family members? I don't know if it's been enough time since this is, happening or any witness it, but just kind of, do you have an idea of what their reaction to the execution is, and just any?
I haven't talked to her family only because of the short time frame. I think we'll probably, when we get in my truck and head back to town, we'll try to get them on the phone. We have talked to some of the other victims of the case.
Were they here?
No.
No, okay.
And what
They tried to get here. They had some issues en route, and it prevented them from getting here, but they tried to get here.
To be clear, he confessed to the death in Alaska and to abusing another child about Kamari's age.
Death in
Rape.
Alaska of a child. A child up in Alaska that he was sexually abusing as well. He confessed to abusing a child by dunking them in boiling water, a case that a jury had let him walk free from. He confessed from abusing another little girl, learned that mom just came forward just this week, that he was also prosecuted for. So those are the ones that we could name. Knowing these type of crimes, I'm sure there are countless others.
And what have those conversations with the family members been like, kind of leading up to today and to the, I don't know if you've been able to talk, but just what have those conversations been like?
They're thankful. They're relieved. Some of the victims we've spoke to, Rick was talking to one of the little girls that was a victim, and, she was like, thank you, and was extremely happy and said, he's not worth my time no more.
So to be clear though, Kamari's father, my office is not allowed to speak with. He's being prosecuted by my office, so by law, we can have no conversations with him. What he communicated with DOC and through the Attorney General's office, I'm not privy to that, and why he's not here, all I know is what I'm told, but we had no connection or contact with him whatsoever due to, we passed along the Attorney General's information to him, and he dealt with them directly.
Have you reached out to Kenny, and if you haven't, what are you going to tell him? I'm sure you're going to call him or something.
I have
What'd you tell him?
done.
One word. What did he say?
Justice.
And if the three of you just can kind of give a one-word answer to what your emotions are now, now that this has been, done, I guess, what are those emotions?
In one word,
Or, I'll give you a few more.
I'm still processing. I cannot even begin to. I never thought I would see this done in my lifetime, in my career, to be honest. So this moved so fast. I'm still processing.
Relief. I'm glad it's over.
hollow. I can't fix it.
Thank you so much for making this statement. I'm sure it was really beneficial. Any more questions? We should let these folks go on their way. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.